Hi, I'm Ken Smith, Senior Security Architect at GreenPages. I'm here to talk a little bit about the RSA conference. Attended a few weeks ago, had a really great time, and I wanted to talk about some of the most interesting things and things that I learned. The first thing I wanted to comment on was it was a fantastic networking opportunity. You'd think that because it's out in San Francisco, you're going to run into mainly people from the West Coast, but that really wasn't the case. Most of the people that I had a good chance to have dinner with, have lunch with, have side conversations with, and sit with at the sessions were from the New England area, so it was a fantastic opportunity there. The other thing was that most of the people in attendance were influencers or decision makers and CISOs. Unlike a lot of other conferences I've been to, like ShmooCon and Black Hat and others, where it's mainly hands-on people. There was a mix, of course, so you are going to sit down and have a great conversation with someone who's a hands-on security pen tester, but at that table is probably sitting the CISO of a major corporation. The talks were great. The toughest thing for me was to decide which talks to sit down and attend, because there were so many different topics. The most appealing to me were mobile device management, endpoint management, cloud, of course, anything around cloud security, application development, and risk management types of talks. So I attended as many of those as I could. One of my favorite sessions was by Evan Wheeler of Omgeo. It was on risk analysis. It was a really great presentation, and it really flipped the whole idea of developing a risk management framework on its head. And a lot of people spend time and effort and put a lot of resources into a very complex risk analysis methodology and metrics. And he really just communicated out to the group that you don't need to be overly complex. You just need to start with something. So let's talk about the Expo Floor. The Expo Floor was enormous. The Expo Floor takes quite a bit of time to work yourself through. You can't really do it in one day. I walked probably 4 miles a day, and I made an effort out of the whole week to at least spend time on the floor 3 of those days I was out there. So it was a really good opportunity for me to go meet with smart people. Some of the vendors brought along some really smart people with them, so we had a chance to mind meld, if you will, about what the product does and the value they bring to the table. And there were, of course, the EMC RSA of the world, as well as great companies like Veracode and smaller organizations like Pawnee Express who came. So it was really great to see that range. What I think was missing from a lot of these companies was a really good, clear message about how they solved a business problem and where they fit. A lot of my conversations with vendors started with, we are the fastest, we are best in breed, and very few of them were about, we solve problem XYZ, or we help you to do XYZ. So I think that was kind of interesting to see. Some of the closing keynote sessions were the best, though. Hugh Thompson ran a great session, which is kind of a Hugh Thompson show, and he sits down and he has speakers or people come and sit with him and talk. And one of those guests was Frank Luntz. He's a pollster, political analyst type of person. And although his jokes weren't that funny, some of the statements he made were really good, which were, he looked at some of the materials that the vendors had brought with them, and none of them were really hitting the mark, which is your solution needs to solve a pain, your solution needs to solve a problem that your potential client, your prospect, is trying to solve, and you need to get in the head of that organization and those influencers. So probably the most important takeaways from this were related to cloud and bring your own device and mobile devices. There were a lot of vendors there that are aiming to simplify cloud, aiming to help get you into the cloud, aiming to help you reach compliance as you move to the cloud. So it was good to see that happening, and that adoption isn't just a vaporware right now. Some had some great case studies about how they've helped organizations move into the cloud. Cloud security was, of course, it's a security-related conference, so Cloud Security Alliance had a great meeting on day one. Great to see so many people. The room was packed. Had to wait in line to get in, so there's a lot of people concerned about that. Mobile device management was another real hot topic, and the fact that we're moving to a model where we're not managing the endpoint device, and it's bring your own device, and we're going to manage the data. After the conference, I had a really good talk with a friend of mine who works at a billion-dollar software company. And he explained to me that he went with the frame of mind that mobile devices are bad. BlackBerries, iPhones, I need to treat them all as a threat. And I need to tightly control them. And having dinner with him one night, he explained to me how his approach completely changed. Everything that he had written up before he came to RSA about how to manage those has changed. And his focus has all moved in towards where the data is, who has access to it, how you govern it, how you encrypt it, how you manage the life cycle of the information. So he actually felt very relieved. So I think the messaging around mobile device management, probably the biggest topic of the whole event.